In this set of problem, we have 10 problems to solve. So let's begin with our first problem. This is our first problem. Risk management is an important element in project management. Risk management mainly belongs to dash phase. So let's go with this problem. Here's our problem. In the project management, we have 5 management phases. Those are, we normally say that IPECC. IPECC. So these are the 5 phases in project management. In IPECC, I mean initiation, and P mean planning, then E mean executions, likewise C means control, and final C means closure. This is ordered in the sequence. So first initiations, then planning, then execution, then controlling, and closure. In initiation phase, we can show that there are some elements. So we can say that in initiation phase, we can do some process such as undertaking the feasibility studies, identifying scope, identifying deliverables, and identifying our stakeholders, etc. So those are the things that we can see in initiation phase. So our problem is the risk management belongs to which phase? So it is clear that it will be not included in initiation phase. Then our second phase is planning. The answer is also a planning phase. It means the risk management is a important steps influence in the other phases also, but the initiation of risk management begins here. So risk management is mainly belongs to a planning phase. Likewise, we also have execution. Executions normally means the executions of our work, and C, controlling means it's monitoring and controlling. There are two main categories such as monitoring and controlling, and the final phase called C, the closure phase. Closure means the final closing point of this project. In closure phase, we may have some elements such as the closure point of the project, and likewise reviewing the project and accepting the comments from the project, and the documentation of the project, likewise, etc. So that's it from this question. So the answer is the risk management mainly belongs to planning phase. So this is the answer. So here is our second problem. Which one is not an element of traditional project management triangle system? Let's go for our problem. So here's a question. In traditional project management system, there are 3 management areas. So we can draw that triangle. The triangle, it's looking like this. So here's our triangle. It has 3 corners. In these 3 corners, there are 3 management areas. So first one is cost, and here is time, and third one is quality. This is our traditional quality. This is our traditional management triangle system. So in the middle, we can define there will be a scope. So these 3 manageable areas are running with the help of or with the basis of scope. So this is our traditional project management triangle system. Traditional project management triangle system. So these are the elements we can find in the traditional project management triangle system. So in this question, which one is not an element of these triangular systems? We have cost, and we have quality, and we also have time. Scope is a basis for all these 3 elements. So the stakeholders, it's not mentioned in triangular system. Stakeholders is also, they are the knowledgeable area in project management. Knowledgeable area, but it is not a major scope, and it's not mentioned in our traditional project management triangle. So the answer is stakeholders. So here's our third problem. Third problem means what's mean by brainstorming in risk identification step in risk management. So let's go for a question. This is our question. We had seen the risk management is a basis of planning phase. So risk management have 4 basic steps. So first one is, as mentioned, in risk management, the first step is risk identification. So I am writing risk identification. And second step is risk assessment. And third one is risk response. And the fourth one is risk monitoring and control. These are the 4 steps of risk management system. So in this risk identification, we have five techniques to identify the risk. So we can mention that as short terms, we memorize as with the first letters of this word BDIPC. In risk identification phase, we have 5 techniques that those are called BDIPC for our memorying ability, which they are the first letters of each techniques. So in this technique, B means brainstorming. Here is our problem about this this technique called brainstorming. And D is called a Delphi technique. And I is about interview or expert opinion. And P means past experience, and also the C means checklist. So let's come for our problem. In this problem, ask about this B, about this brainstorming. So in risk identifications, B means brainstorming. Brainstorming simply means discussion with members. So brainstorming simply means a discussion with members. It implies that to identify the risk, while we planning for a project, we discuss with the members. Discuss with the members means it may our team members, it may be the client and the consultant or stakeholders, all of these members. So brainstorming management system means a discussion with members. This means members include all of the parties regarding the project. So here's our fourth problem. The fourth problem is what's mean by EVMS in cost monitoring and controlling phase of constructions project. So let's go for a question. This is our question, EVMS. So EVMS is a technique that is used for cost control. So cost control, it's a main basic thing in controlling fees. So we have mentioned in that IPECC are the 5 bases for our IPECC are the 5 basis phases for project management. In this controlling phase, the cost control is significant to any kind of project. So cost control. In this cost control, EVMS is one of the most famous and widely used technique to control the cost. So in straightforward, we can see EVMS means earned value management system, and first one is the answer for that EVMS. The earned value management systems is simply called as EVMS. In this EVMS, there are many indexes. For such an example, I am showing that here we can draw a curve for cost with the time, and we can see that the cost will be like in a X shape for our planned budget. So this is a planned budget. This has already defined at the planning phase of the project, and this dotted line will be a actual cost for work done. So this is our time. This is our due time, on time, the today's date. This is our on time, and this is our actual cost, and this is our planned budget. This is for our planned budget that is already drawn. Planned budget, and this dotted line is called actual cost. In the EVMS, we have defined some indexes in this graph, and we have analyzed. So the EVMS means earned value management system, and this is our answer for this question. Fifth problems. What is the main usage of SCurve in construction management? So let's go for our problem. Here's our problem. So SCurve. To define the SCurve concept, SCurve is mainly used in cash flow analysis. It can be used for both the contractor side or consultant side. So let me define the SCurve is a graphical representation of how the project budget will be spent if work is carried out exactly as estimated and scheduled. So in the S-curve, the graph for S-curve, there are two axes, y-axis, and this is our x-axis. X-axis simply means the time, and y-axis is cost. It means cumulative cost. So cumulative cost. So here the S-curve will be like this. It is defined using its shapes. So this is our time, and this is the cumulative amount of cost that has spent. Normally the S-curve is defined for BCWS. BCW means budgeted cost for work schedule. There are 4 scales or 4 options. Likewise, BCWS is on budgeted cost for work schedule, and budgeted cost for work planned, and actual cost of work done. These are the 3 scales, but S-curve is mainly drawn for budgeted cost of work schedule. Since in the budget we have defined the work scheduled, and this is drawn before the work started. So the main usage of S-curve in construction management is to measure the to predict the cash flow requirement of project. So using this BCWS graph, this is S-curve, but it simply implies the BCWS. BCWS, it means a budgeted cost for work schedule. using this graph we can predict what's going to be our expenditures in coming day. Let's see, we have a day this is our today, this is today, so we can predict that how is going to be how this pattern is going to be go on coming days. So the main usage of SCurve is to predict the cash flow for the requirement of the project. So here's our sixth problem, that is, which one of the following is not an objective of monitoring phase in construction management? So let's go for it. Here are four belongings are mentioned. So first let's see managing budget. Managing budget is a main focus of monitoring phase. So monitoring phase is simply another name for as I mentioned, the five phases are IPECC. IPECC, I means the initiation, P means the planning, and E is execution, and C for control, and C for closure. In this controlling phase is also mentioned as monitoring and controlling phase. Monitoring phase. Here the managing budget, let's just say the first option is managing budget. You know the budget is a backbone of any project. So managing the budget is a main thing in our monitoring phase. So our first one is correct, and this is the one of the main scope in managing state or the monitoring state. So second one is identifying the variance of budget. So we can identify the variance of budget like this. As I saw that we can draw the cumulative curve called SCurve for BCWS, budget cost for work schedule. This is the scheduled work. Then we can draw for the curve called actual cost for work done. This is actual cost for work done or work performed. Let's see actual cost for work performed, and we can see the variance between it. So this is mentioned identifying the variance of budget. So this is our variance. In the S-curve, this is time, and this is cost. Okay. And second one is identifying the variance. So variance is also the main scope in monitoring phase. Variance is also the correct. Assigning of work for each members. This is the answer for this question, and this is the work that has been defined in planning phase. Planning phase, we assign the work for each members, and we are creating work break schedule, WBS, work break schedule. So third one is related with work break schedule, and this is not objective of management phase, monitoring control management phase. And maintaining the quality of the process is also the one of the important thing in monitoring phase. So the answer is third one. So let's go with the seventh question. Dash are the best known set of standards in quality management. So let's go for problem. Dash are the best known set of standards in quality management. This is a straightforward question. The answer is ISO 900. If you have a search on this keyword called ISO 900, you can see there are many provisions for engineering management. So for both construction management and project management, we have defined the norms using this code called ISO 9000. ACA simply means the American code concrete institutions, and these are the design code for concretes. And ISO 2000, this is not related here, and our answer is ISO 9000. So here's our eighth problem. Our eighth problem is, according to construction management norms, developing a safety reporting is one of the major responsibility of dash. So let's go for our problem. So there are many roles and their activities, functionalities for every roles in a project, especially construction project management. So the problem here asks for the safety reporting is the responsibility of whom. At the site there are some site records. So the one of the major site record that we have to maintain at the site is safety reports. So in this question it is asking safety reporting is whom work. So according to the norms, this is the work of contractor. So contractor has to make a role or make a personalities to write a safety reporting. This is the main responsibility of contractor. There are some contradictions at many sites, but according to the norms, this is the main work of contractor. So here's our ninth problem. Ninth problem is heuristic is one of the technique used to solve site layout planning by researchers, and heuristic simply implies. So we are going to see the meaning of heuristics here. So let's we go for our problem. So let's we come for the concept of site layout planning. Let's say this is our site boundaries. Now we are going to build a building here. This is our building. So we are going to lay out our planning. So we are going to locate our warehouse, locate our water supply, locate our electricity supply, and locate our material locations somewhere, and locate our entrance. So this is the basic layout planning. To solve the basic layout planning, we use some techniques. Mainly we are use this kind of the heuristics techniques and also the optimization technique. So problem is what's mean by heuristics problem. Heuristic simply means a trial and error method. So this is the answer for this question. Here I am explain what is heuristics. Heuristic trial and error method means we are locating these plans by here, then here, and we are doing some trials while changing these locations, and we are doing some trials. As you know, the main hope of site layout planning is minimizing the total duration, so that we can minimize our total head cost. So we have to minimize our total duration. So while we are doing some trial, we can reduce the day-to-day times, and finally we can reduce the total duration. So trial and error method means the heuristic word implies the trial and error method for our site layout planning. Optimization plans are basically combined with mathematical models. So the answer for this question is trial and error method. That's meant by the word heuristic. So this is our 10th question. Which one is not an element of cost of owning in cost equipment acquisition for construction project? So let's go for question. This is regarding about cost of owning in equipment acquisition. In equipment acquisition, we have to think about the cost of equipment. So cost of equipment can be categorized into two categories. They are owning cost, and this is owning cost, and operating cost. So operating cost is the cost that is mainly occurred while operating or working at the site. The costing on owning cost means the basic cost of owning the equipment. In the owning cost composition, we can add the cost of investment. So the investment cost and the depreciation cost for the equipment, it can be annual depreciation, and also we use the linear depreciation system. The cost of depreciation is also the cost of owning cost. Depreciation cost, and also the cost of major repairs. While you are working in the site, if your equipment is malfunctionated with major repairs, then the cost for the major repairs is also the cost of owning. The cost of fuel is a operating cost. Fuel, likewise the cost for the operator, those are the cost that's occurring while you are operating. So cost of fuel is a operating cost. So in this question, the answer is cost of fuel. So question is, which is not cost of owning? These three things are the cost of owning, but the cost of fuel is a cost of operation. So the operating cost is a cost of fuel. So answer is fourth one, cost of fuel. Thank you.